So what do you have today? eMachines eTower 266. Just got this from my neighbor. Um, I gave him like speakers and whatever, and he asked what I would want. And this time I'm saying I wanted a trade because when I saw this at his house before, it was like I thought it was like an old Celeron 266. And in my head, I'm thinking this kind of stuff where it's like, oh, it's kind of be interesting. I want to try to push, okay, the basis of this video. I want to try to push, like, what's the oldest CPU that I can grab a hold of that would still be able to run the latest version of Debian, Debian 12. Debian 12 runs on 686, so I was thinking, 266 Celeron would. Yeah, that would work. It would be slow, but it would work. I had it running on 500 megahertz and now 600 megahertz Pentium 3. Just as long as it's an i686. Well, it turns out that this is not an Celeron 266. It's a Cyrix M2. Cyrix M2 is part of their 6x86 line. Okay, it says 686 in its name. Well, kind of. That does not mean it's a 686. What Debian needs, especially explicitly, is the CMOV conditional move instruction that is present in starting in the Pentium Pro. Now, a lot of these other CPU manufacturers would have like 686, 586. They would not necessarily be 686 or 586. So I actually took a look at C to see if the M2 sports the CMOV in order for this to actually be a possible thing. Turns out it does. So this may be a bust. If it is a bust, you probably won't see this. I probably will not upload it. But I took the old hard drive out. Strangely, okay, this is from 1998. All right, so 266 M2, like that. It was slow back then. It had 32 megs of RAM. That's what it came with. I'll go into more detail about. But the funnier thing is too, it only has like a 2.1 gig hard drive from 1998. So backed up all of his stuff. He's getting all of his stuff back. Another interesting thing about this, it has one of these old Windows 3.0.3.1 style BIOSes. So this is from, like I said, 1998. Could this have been like one of the last gasps of this type of BIOS? It's very stripped bare. It doesn't even give you the option for to see like when you're booting. It always has the eMachines splash. You can't just show it. It's like, I have not seen it. If you can tell me how to do that, let me know. But I left it on this screen because I did a few things in the meantime before I actually started filming, just to get my eggs in a row. So it actually had 32 megs of RAM from the factory, but somebody put in a 128 meg stick, so that's that one. So I took out the original 32 and I put in another 128. It's 256 right now. We'll see what happens. So like I said, that's the hard drive. Right now I just have shoved in there an SSD with an IDE adapter to it. Funny thing is, it is a 64 gig drive, but it only sees it as, about 30. So there's a hard drive BIOS limitation on the drive. It does not boot from USB. I have USB there right now though. But I do have, I'll stick this in right now, floppy disk with plop on it. And so, and of course the battery was dead, so the battery, look at the tail of that, that's why, and these guys were having fun. So anyway, but like I say, there's, it has all the information about, there it is. Wait a second. Quick boot is disabled. Quick boot. Would that be the same thing? I gotta have quick boot on. Whatever. But it has all that information. Yeah, whatever. That really doesn't matter. Okay, the IDE is attached. let's quit out of this, save changes and exit. Now it will boot from the floppy drive into plop, well, after it reboots, obviously. Oh, one thing I should do is, oh no, somebody put in a network card in this thing. So that was already there. So it might just take a long, yeah, let's see. Okay, 130, wait, does it have 130? I don't know how much RAM it says. See, I like to see what the boot has, where it counts up, but whatever. Okay, I'm gonna go, okay, USB. Now let's see what happens. Not, okay, cool. All right, well that's, I don't want a graphical install. Just give me the old school. Give me old school. Oh, I think it's actually starting. Oh yeah. Okay. So we're doing that. So with the M2, so 686, doing research on it. Apparently it has just like it just really struggles, and I knew this from like the original. Oh, I think that spun down. Okay. That's a different noise now. Anyway, so like Cyrix was really big on the math code processors in the very beginning, and their early stuff was quite good. But when they got to this point in their life, they started to suck because, well, they didn't really change anything. Well, that's the reason why they did suck. Because they weren't changing. It was still basically a 46, and I don't think this is booting. So anyway, that the M2 is like that. It's not giving me an error. I will continue this if we actually get past a black screen. So I did a little RAM musical chairs. Well, just swapped the two around because it didn't like mine before. Okay. But let's see. A valid RSDP was not found. Unable to init MCE device. Oh, but hey, look at that though. I mean, it's still yeah. Okay. Okay, oh, there we go. Another blank screen. Okay, insufficient memory. So it's at 273. Should I put in... Do I have a 256 meg stick? But this is really good because it boots. Unpredictable and broken behavior. You know what? I'm going to go see if I do have a 256. Yeah, but that's cool. I don't have a red screen anymore. So it has a 256 in there and a 128. It does not like those 256s, and doesn't like, well, obviously it's not, that's ECC, huh? I have no clue where I even got that shit. But so 384. Okay. So I'm just going to continue along with this process. I will let you know if there's any other snags. Oh, no. Okay, here we go. Hopefully this is just going to be a normal Debian install. And I think the main takeaway about this is that the M2, since it does have the CMOV instruction, really does classify itself as a 686 class processor, even though it's woefully inadequate in a lot of other things. It can run Debian. They call it 386 online, the 32-bit Debian 12.2, but maybe I'm putting my counting my chickens before they hatch. I mean, I still have to I'm going in North America. I'm in the United States. Low memory mode. Maybe I can see if I can add more later, but hey, this is going, so I had to start all over again because it wouldn't get past the point for partitioning. I need to continue that. However, just a word of advice. Cheaper IDE to SATA adapters. There's a reason why they're cheaper. Stick to StarTech. Those I've never, well, can't say I've never had an issue with it. There's been some machines that just didn't like IDE to SATA no matter what I did, and I think that has to do with some of the SSDs too, whatever. Anyway, so yeah, I'm just doing the generic, just the one partition thing, and yeah, we're continuing on. Like I said, I need to start all over again because it just had a hard freeze after I said just use the entire disk. But it's like, yes, let's continue on. Well, that looks a little funny, doesn't it? Yeah, still going. It installed all the primary stuff from the boot media. So now it's going to be, well, it's looking for the stuff to download. It's net install, so every other package is, obviously installed from the internet. So it's doing that part now. But yeah, it's just looking a little weird. Still works. Taking a very long time, as to be expected. Alright, I had to do a little bit of a thinking around for like what exactly CPU is in there. I mean, what I've seen before was a 266 via Cyrix M2 with MMX. Okay, well, I mean, that makes sense. That's what I've been telling you all along. However, if you look at Wikipedia's page, which there is no M2 266, and the thing that we have here is the 6x86MX, which is PR266, running at 208 megahertz with an 83 megahertz frontside bus. So that's interesting. However, no, it does exist. 266, 66 megahertz frontside bus and 200 megahertz with a 66 times 3. Well, what exactly do I have? Yes, it is what the website said about the eMachines eTower. It is an M2 266. I think it's said it like it's OEM only. So yeah, which I don't know how many are like you get the gold there. I mean, it is a nice looking processor. So anyway, yeah, the last part of the video, that was yesterday, where I was showing you the end of the funkiness of installing. It finished installing. I'm going to put the heatsink bank on, and I'm going to show you what it looks like booting up in real time if you want to stick with it. Oh, the other thing I saw that only this machine, from RAM's point of view, says it only does accept up to 256, but this is running 384. It really has problems, like I said, with some 256. I might do some swapping around now that the installation is done to see if I can get something that might be working a little better. But I thought it was interesting to realize, it's like, I thought it was like one of the weird ones, with the weird front side buses and everything. It's like, nope, this is a bog standard 66, which means no problems with the PCI cards or whatever. And it's as I said, it is a really nice looking processor. So I'm gonna put that back on, and then I'll show you it booting up. As normal for this monitor, it doesn't like grub. So pressing enter will start the boot, or times out in like 10 minutes or something. 10 seconds. I think it's trying to get the, oh, there we go. It's trying. I know it works. Let's set a verbose flag, right? Just hey, and there we go. Debian Linux 12. And that was 3 minutes. Need to fix that keyboard. Okay. And let's do an okay, that is not installed. There's some other things I wanted to install in a bit, so alright, installed it. So I'm going to show you all the information with LSHW. This is the first time I'm seeing it myself. Here we go. Okay, motherboard. 364. Shouldn't it be 384? 128 plus 256. 300. Huh. That's kind of bizarre. But here we go. An M2, 3X, which is 66 right there. Cyrix instead. That's what makes it work here, so that's good. The VIA Apollo MVP3. Nothing out of the ordinary here. So there's my Samsung 64 gig drive. What was just 2 CD-ROMs that it sees. My network. I didn't even know what this is. I guess it's only 100. Well, obviously, it's not going to be a gig. So wait a second. Where was the display? Rage 2. Okay, yeah, I saw that on the board. So anyway, that's what that is. Now, what can we do? Proof of concept. This is like one of the things that I was questioning about, like if this could actually be a it's not viable. I know it's not viable. But will it actually try to run? Yeah. .net. Yeah. And then, yeah, let's just pipe it to bash, of course. And this keyboard is, yeah. So it's just going to be a funny thing at the end of this, just to like, can it serve? It's not going to be used as a purpose, but will it actually run? So that's let's. I'm not gonna film the whole thing. Obviously, you would not want to see that, but if it installs correctly, I mean, last time I showed Pi-hole install was for a 500 megahertz Pentium 3. That worked out. So how about one that's clocked at least 300 megahertz slower and a lot less powerful overall. So I'm gonna cut it here, and if anything goes astray, I will let you know. If it all performs correctly, well, you'll see it at the end of the install. So I'll cross your fingers. So I thought I would get in the middle of this thing. Decided to SSH into the box and use this instead. Yes, it's still the one that's actually doing it, that over there. But SSHing into it, it's getting its dependencies. First time I tried to do it, it timed out trying to get to the website, the site to download. And then I connected it to it was connected to my guest network, connected to my real network, and it was still doing the same thing. So did a reboot, and yeah, then started to SSH into it to do it this way so I can see, scrolling everything else. You can't do that necessarily there, but this is actually it's installing. It's been slow, but it's installing. So I'll catch you on the other side. One eternity later, and it finished. I don't really need that, so what I'm going to do is just AP, no password. I don't need a password. So what is it? 192, 168, 1.60, 167. Yes, that's what I SSH'd into. Yes, Matt. And we will go in there right now. /admin. That's being hosted off of the eMachines. Kind of tell by the load averages. What we have is probably rate. Yeah, long term. Yeah, that's probably to be expected. And this is with nobody actually hitting it. Memory use, but memory usage is only 17%. That's pretty good. That's unexpected. And so since I do not have like htop on here or anything, let's check out the load averages here. 0.39. So let's see, what do we have for total memory? 364. That's still confusing me. 26 free, 57 used, and 295 in buffer. So yeah, this is, let's see. Yeah, I don't know. There's no shenanigans here. This is definitely the M2. Oh, fuck. So if that's the case, what we have here, I'm going to get something configured first. There, I went ahead and put top on the machine itself. So that's running, of course, there. Setting my DNS to 1.167. It is just DHCP right now on that server, quote unquote server, but now this machine is looking for it for blocking. I'm sorry for like autofocus, but this Edge does not have any ad blocking on it. And let's like load like CNN or something. Yeah, it's a great day, isn't it? So let's see the query log. Here we go. So that's all. Everything went through though. Let's see, what can I do to have something blocked? Wow, okay. If I can spell it. So there are no ads here. Now let's check this again. Did it block it? Where's my block? Where are my blocks? Ah, there you go. So, yeah, that is actually running it. And load average is down to 0.04. That is well, of course, like I said, this is the only machine that's being told to run it. But I mean, I guess that's it. That's all for today. It's just a funny thing that a Cyrix M2 is able to run latest version of Debian and the latest version of Pi-hole. So that was a success. Later in another year or so.